is all about Rizal's annotation of Morga's Sucesos de las Islas Filipinas. The book Sucesos de las islas Filipinas is an account of Spanish observations about the Filipinos and the Philippines. But first, we need to identify what is annotation. Annotation is a short explanation or note added to a text or image, the act of adding short explanations or notes. What is Las Islas Filipinas? The Philippines was named in honor of King Philip II of Spain. And what is Sucesos, or the events, happenings, and occurrence? It is the work of an honest observer, a versatile bureaucrat who knew the workings of the administration from the inside. First of all, who is Antonio de Morga Sanchez Garay, or also known as Antonio de Morga? He was a Spanish soldier, lawyer, and a high-ranking colonial for 43 years in the Philippines. New Spain at Peru, where he was a president of the Real Audiencia for 20 years. He was also a historian. Sucesos de las Islas Filipinas, or in English, Events in the Philippine Island, is a book written and published by Antonio de Morga in 1609, considered as one of the most important works on the early history of the Spanish colonization of the Philippines. The book Sucesos de las Islas Filipinas narrates the history of war, intrigues, diplomacy, and evangelization of the Philippines in a somewhat disjoint way. In 1889 to 1890, Rizal spent several months in London to do his historical research on pre-colonial Philippines and also to improve his English language skills. According to Dr. Ferdinand Blumentritt, the Spanish historian, Dr. Antonio de Morga wrote Sucesos de las Islas Filipinas, which was published in Mexico in 1609. He was also the one who encouraged Rizal to write about the Philippines' pre-colonial history. Both have their own views in geography, society, faith, and economy during the pre-colonial era. Rizal agreed to somewhat of Morgan's claim, but disagreed to some and made further connections and comments. Morga was not knowledgeable on Philippine culture and tradition. That's why Rizal made it his duty to properly annotate Morga's writing. What are the purposes of Rizal's annotation? There are three purposes of Rizal's annotation. First, to awaken the consciousness of the Filipinos regarding their glorious ways of the past. Second, correct what has been distorted about the Philippines due to the Spanish conquest. Third, to prove that Filipinos are civilized even before the coming of the Spaniards. Now, let's talk about the state of the Philippines during pre-colonial period by comparing the point of view of Rizal and Morga. The importance of Rizal's annotation. First is to create a sense of national consciousness or identity. Second, to prove Filipinos had a culture of their own prior to colonization, that the Filipinos were not inferior to the white men. Third, to reduce those Filipinos who denied their native tongue into rotten fish. And the last, to embrace the generic term or the Indio, or in today's case, Filipino with all its negative connotations and turn it into one dignity and nobility.